Hey everyone, Jim Phoenix here, and in today's What's Cracking, we've got special guests Danny and Phillip from the hit movie Clone Cops. That's right, if you were at Gen Con, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you were in a Tennessee festival, you couldn't get a ticket because that sold out. So get some marshmallows out and put a mustache on it. It'll make sense in a minute. All that and more on the next What's Cracking. Hit it. Hey everyone, Jim Phoenix here, and take 12. This is the Clone Cops. Oh my God. It's like the movie Clone Cops. It kind of rebooted. Oh no. Spoilers coming out. Today we've got none other than Danny and Phillip from the Clone Cops movie that I got the sneak peek through on Gen Con. Thanks a lot, Gen Con. And thanks you guys for not checking tickets because I snuck the hell in. So, Danny, Phil, thanks very much for having some time here. I know you're busy pushing the movie everywhere in the world, as you should be. I have only 25 questions. Question number one, why marshmallows? Right, for the
Yeah,
that's a marshmallow, yes?
I mean, it's very similar. Yeah, we had a good friend of mine that Chris Butler that I went to college with,
Yeah.
who did all of our concept art. He came up with all that, the clone cop look and the helmet and all that stuff. Uh, and yeah, the whole idea behind the clone cop outfit is that it's like designed by committee, and so it's just kind of terrible on
Oh,
purpose.
God.
Like it's like every department got to put their thumbprint on it, and it just created this like huge amalgam of awfulness that all corporate kind of entities create. So
I
yeah,
love it.
that's the idea behind it.
I absolutely love it. And for those of you who have not seen the movie, A, shame on you. And B, you get the well, you guys are still touring with it everywhere, right?
We're
It's
doing
where you at now?
a film festival run right now, and then we're looking into some markets to do some theatrical screenings. So here's the real deal: if y'all want us to bring it to your market, shoot us an email. We're there. We would love to come out and watch the movie with you wherever you are in these contiguous 48 states.
See, I like that idea, and I do know someone who owns his own theater somewhere, and he might even be good into movies. He did a few, called Clerks and Mall Rest and Chasing Amy. You might want to give him a shout out,
Yeah,
drop him a line.
that would be a dream come true. I'd love to show that there. That'd be awesome.
Of course, we're talking about Kevin Smith, and I honestly, God, think you should contact, and I think it'll be a great movie. As a matter of fact, Kevin, why don't you just give him a call right now? Well, not right now. We're doing an interview. After the interview, give them a call. I'll give you the number later on. And it's worth it. I have to tell you this. When we saw this at Gen Con, you were competing against 3 bazillion other things happening at that moment. That's a lot of pressure, and you filled the room. You filled the room. What does that feel like when you see, like, oh my God, I'm with a bunch of people, and we're actually filling this room for our movie?
I mean, it was incredible. I think we spent a lot of time talking to people at Gen Con. We spent 2 days handing out comic books, like you saw, and it was just incredible to meet everybody there, and we had so much fun getting to like create personal connections with people that we think will love the movie, and I think it paid off. We got to see a lot of those folks that we had talked to previously come out. We were handing out comics at the screening, and half the people were like, "Oh, I already got one." So
I
that was
think I was
awesome.
one of those people. Like, I got this, I got this. Oh, this thing is so cool. What made you think about the comic as a push? Was it because of the convention aspect of it, or did you just have this plan before?
There are a lot of opportunities for handing out swag, and there's so many, as you know,
Right.
so many things that people hand out that go immediately into a trash can, or you see it on the floor or on a bench. And we were like, what's something that people actually might value? And so we went out of our way to tell a different story in the comic book, actually a prequel to the movie. So it's
Yeah.
some additional world building, and if and when this film takes off, these limited edition 2,000 comics that we had made might be something worth hanging on to.
I'm going to put this next to my golden box games now and put it up. Absolutely. And
Exactly.
that's exactly it. That we've got so much. I mean, I just threw away a bunch of stuff from Gen Con that I'm just, wait, why do I have this, garbage for? And throw it all out. And there's things that don't even make it back home. But the comic book definitely does. Anything that says, oh my God, this is unique and well made, and the artwork is fantastic. and it makes me remember your movie every time I look at the cover.
That's
And
great.
that's the amazing part of it.
And I will cop to, we're very guilty of going on the Gen Con subreddit and looking at all the haul pictures that people post and trying to find our comic in the halls. And we found it a few times, and it was always a thrill.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, you were taking over that booth, like the independent film booth. I actually, full disclosure, I thought it was your booth. I'm like, oh, this is the Clone Cop booth. That's how well you're taking that over. Good for you. What made you do that?
We came in with a pretty aggressive marketing plan. We knew we wanted to make a push. Oh no, we don't have time for this. Oh no, it's Jason Voorhees. It's Jason Voorhees.
Behind you.
I was living in the basement.
You were living in the basement?
I was looting it.
Oh, looting it.
Oh, looting it.
All right, cool.
Is it yours?
Working, son.
Yeah, it's all good.
Good boy. He's
I seen Jason go to space.
Yeah,
he's back.
Yeah, he just came back from space. He's rebooted now.
Yes, he's back and shorter.
Back and shorter.
Oh.
I think that's a new tagline. Jason, back from space but shorter.
Yeah.
Space gravity does that. Re-entry.
So yeah, we came into Gen Con with a super aggressive marketing plan, and we signed up for as many of those Gen Con Film Fest booth slots as we could. And we brought a team, and we brought costumes, and we were there to meet people and to talk to people about our film. So I think the typical play is to just kind of sit there, and as people approach, you tell them, hey, there's a film fest. My film's in it, and we were kind of out in front of the booth, actively like flagging folks down, trying to make eye contact, looking for the moment, checking the openness, right? Gauging an individual's openness to a conversation, to an experience.
To the experience. I think that's what it is, to the experience of it. And like I said, as press, we get so many emails for everything at Gen Con ever. I'm still going through some stuff like, oh, there's still some stuff from that was last month, guys. I can't go. I'm so sorry. RSPV, no. But I had yours. I'm like, okay, this, and I had a game event. I had to do at the same time. I ditched a gaming event.
Thank you.
I ditched a gaming event because of the comic books, because of that contact. I said, you know what? You guys are going the extra mile. Like, screw these. No offense to the gamers, but I was like, no, screw these gaming people who didn't reach out again at all. Like, oh, come to our event. That's it. The end. Yeah. You guys pushed it, and it looked fun. People want to go there and have fun, and you guys nailed the fun aspect of it. Even though your movie is a bit sad sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, and I think certainly we intended for it to be a comedy straight out of the gate, and if it was up to me, it probably would have been all fart jokes and Phil's butt. But a
lot of that appears. By the
way. He during the writing process, Phil was very adamant about interjecting some heart into the movie and creating these moments that are really deep thematic moments within the film, and thank goodness he did, because it really comes through, and I think it creates an experience that it's the old you'll laugh, you'll cry, but you kind of do. I still tear up at certain points in the movie, and I've seen it 100 times.
Yeah, mostly it feels butt. No, to be fair,
you got
that on you, Booty.
It did get an ovation at Gen Con. I don't know if you remember, people are clapping and cheering.
Yeah, dude. I was like, when it started, I was kind of like, oh, that's nice. And then it kept going. I was like, are y'all for real? Like, this is way longer than is polite.
This is our thing. This is our thing. This is our jam. And I'm glad you mentioned that there's multi-facets. It would work. Honestly, it would work as a comedy. It would be, you have to cut it, obviously, around a bit. But it would work as a comedy. It's got the aspects of it. But what makes it last longer is because once the comedic aspect gets you, the dramatic keeps you hooked and pulls you through. And that's without spoilers, it is a great social commentary. It is reflective of what our lived experiences has been for 4 or 5 years at least, if not more. I don't know when COVID actually was anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever that decade was, I don't know anymore. And where our future is going towards. It's tongue-in-cheek at the same time deep. Does that make sense? Is that a fair assessment of your own movie?
That's a very lovely assessment, and I think
thank you.
That's I think one of the things I love about sci-fi movies is that you can kind of sneak those social commentaries and satire underneath. Like you can kind of talk about really serious stuff, but you're covering it over this patina of kind of silliness that I think it opens a door to people's psyche that they weren't ready to open beforehand, because you've kind of Trojan horsed it in with like silly guys in masks, and then at the end of the day, hopefully people leave the theater with a new perspective, or at least they're thinking about things they weren't open to thinking about before.
I think that's completely fair. As an audience goer, it was, I'm here for the zaniness, and I left like, okay, that was actually a pretty thoughtful movie. Like, that was well-deserved round of applause at the end. And I know Gen Con is very hard to have a success as a movie because you're competing against everything else. But what's the feel about your current film festivals? What's the jive there?
Well, we played our hometown fest, Nashville Film Fest, last night.
Nice.
Which is an Oscar qualifying, kind of a big deal. They've really made it a point to grow that festival the past 5 or so years. And we were one of just a handful of Tennessee features to get in. So we were very fortunate to be included even now, because it's kind of turned into a thing. We were like, I don't know, are they going to let our weird, fun movie in? And they did. And it was the first film to sell out. It sold out within just a couple hours of tickets going on sale. And
awesome.
I mean, it was surreal last night, dude. I mean, we were standing there. There's 2 theaters right next to each other, the doors, and there was this massive line. I was like, I wonder what's going on in that theater. And Danny was like, this is for us, man. And it was a trip, man. It was an absolute trip. And it was great seeing it with the hometown crew and with so many of the cast and crew that were a part of making the film. So it was a really special evening last night. So cool to be here with you today, getting to talk about that.
That's amazing. And then Danny, we were talking before we started, and you said sold out, and the 12-year-old you would probably go bananas.
Yeah, I mean, driving to the theater last night, I was very nervous. So it's only the second time we've shown it in a theater, and so I was kind of feeling those feelings, and then this wave of calm kind of came over me, and I just realized, like, man, this is it. This is what you've been striving for your whole life. And like 12-year-old me would be so pumped right now to know that this is awaiting, and so it really was kind of a culmination of just a lifetime of loving movies and wanting to make them, and to finally have it happen like that. It's been really amazing.
And it's well deserved. And I'm glad we're going to start talking about the movie making itself, because I did not know everyone was from Tennessee. Watching that movie, I'm like, did you guys like have an international casting call or what? Like, the accents are really spot on, the playfulness, even the way they did the press before the movie starts is like a little bit still charactery, Right. So it's hard to peel that back. So it's all Tennessee. Everyone was homegrown for you. Everyone.
Yeah. We had Skylar Tillett is out of Atlanta, but
that Georgia.
No, he was such a great addition to the cast, and he's kind of one of the big hearts of the cast, and he did such a phenomenal job. I'm so happy and feel so fortunate that he joined our cast. But everybody else was Tennessee. Man, it's kind of like this weird little kept secret is that Nashville has got talent, man. I think people expect it with singing, with music and stuff, but we've got some great actors here, and it's been. I've been working with a lot of them for years, so we knew it going into it. But I'm so excited that we finally get to showcase that. Yeah, we've got some serious heavy hitters here.
It's amazing, and Phillip, you're one of those heavy hitters, by the way.
Thanks, dude. I mean, I feel super blessed that I got to just come and do my thing and have a ball and be fun and silly, and that the rest of the cast really brought the heavy acting chops, But we did conduct a full out casting call, really? To agents that rep here as well as in Atlanta, and we didn't go in thinking we're going to hire our friends, because we were very intentional that, like, we want to do whatever is best for the film. So I love this person, But if there's a better take on the character or better read, we owe it to the project to do its best for the project. And in so many cases, it ended up being somebody that we did already know or have a relationship with, and it was like, oh, great, our friend is incredible, and they all crushed it.
Because we knew that. Now, did you write for friends in mind?
There were a couple roles that we definitely had people in mind when Justin Torrance, who plays Thong Daddy 420, is an old friend of mine, and I knew he was going to crush that role, and so I definitely had him in mind when I wrote that. And yeah, I think a handful, but really, honestly, we were very open to considering lots of different folks. And in initial versions of the script, there were some characters that were different genders that once we saw people, we were like, oh, let's just swap that gender and have them come in and play that character, because
that role instead. Okay,
because it was great. They just did such a great job, and I was very happy to have that be a thing that we were able to make those. That's the benefit of being the writer, like you can make those changes and do that.
Now that we've lost Phillip for a second, we can talk about his butt. Did he really write that into the script?
Man, I think I don't remember whose idea it was to do that. I kind of have this thing with Phil, and I have been working together for so long that I kind of try to put him in uncomfortable positions every time we do a movie, or like cover him in slime at some point. Like I got to do something to him to just needle him. And I think we both agreed, like, dude butt is funny. It's just funny. And so
underused.
Yeah. So we just kind of set out to make sure that we were able to work in a nice embarrassing moment for Phillip.
This is the weirdest part. We're talking about your butt. The first time you came in, we're talking about your butt, and then you popped out and came back. We started talking about your butt.
It's the elephant in the room.
Yeah. No, so without trying to do this without spoiling. There are moments where there are going to be multiple clones. This is Clone Cop. How was this? First, just from a technical point, is this going to be the same shot, the same person? Are we using body doubles? Are we using like mannequins? Or what are we using?
Yeah, so the way that worked out was when we initially started the pre-production process, we partnered with a 3D printing firm to have them print 20 helmets. And by the time we got to shooting, we had 4. They ran into production issues. They were trying to scale up their operation for us. And anybody that's 3D printed before knows that, at hour 30, there could be an error and you have to start.
We both had 3. I see one in the background. Right? I have one right there. Yeah. It's always like the last minute, like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, right. Or like comes off the bed all of a sudden.
You let him steal a helmet? You let him take home a helmet?
Yeah, he's. We gave out helmets to all of our main clone cops.
That's cool.
So when we started the movie, we had 4, and so Phil was always one, and we had 3 body doubles. And anytime the helmet was off, obviously that's Phil.
Yeah.
And there's a shot about midway through the movie where you see about 12 clones all kind of pile into a room, and that was all composited. That was Charles Royce, our VFX supervisor. We sat down and we marked all those out. Our AD team timed it all out to perfection, and we composited that all in together just with 4 people.
Amazing.
People always say that they can't believe it when they see it, because it is pretty seamless, and it was just a nice moment where everybody's kind of expertise came together and we were able to make that work.
It is amazing, and I've seen more than my fair share of bad movies. I mean, just let's just be straight honest.
Movies. Yeah, I love them. Like
bad movies for and this one is it's an hour 30, right? You have an hour 30, and you have crisp and clear for the editing, crisp and clear for the acting, the lighting, the coloring, the sound. Everything is so well done. It's tight. And it's tight. There's no wasted motion. Everything is gripping. You kept us enthralled for the entire time.
That's awesome to hear. I'm so glad to hear. I mean, I did the edit, and it was. It's not my main forte. I'll just say that.
Really?
I have done it before. I went to school for broadcasting and took editing classes,
Right.
and I edited professionally for a while, but it's just not where my passion lies. So but like with everything else in this movie, we all wore so many different hats just to keep everything under budget and to
Some of them are that hat right there. Yes.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
The same clone cop hat. The mustache.
So yeah, man, it was everybody kind of got to stretch their legs creatively and do things that they don't normally do. And our kind of goal with all of this, anytime I feel like you have a low budget thing like this, we kind of wanted to take people that want to step up into the thing they want to do and give them the opportunity to do that. So a lot of our crew were people doing a position for the first time in that role. Like they'd assisted before,
Really?
they had experience, but this was like their first time being the lead on certain things.
That's astounding. So I'm trying to see, and maybe it's if I watch it on a smaller screen, I start trying to pick holes into it. I'll see something. I didn't see anything that was a flag for a first time production from anyone's role. I saw a professionally produced. This is top notch. This is why you're wondering why you're getting to movie. Like, how are we getting these festivals? You have a great movie.
Oh.
I hate to be the breaker of bad news. You have a good movie. It's an amazing thing, and it's well made. You're going to get into festivals, as many as you want to be in.
Like, well, we appreciate that, man.
How far you want to drive. That's it. That's your limit.
Yeah, it's thank you. That's we love it. We're super happy and proud with it. I will cop to. I'm as as a perfectionist, I certainly see things warts in it, but it's very heartening to hear that I'm alone in that.
That was one of the biggest notes from my friends and family last night. Was like, I didn't expect it to be that good. I knew it was low budget, and and that's where you want to be. You want a very low bar so that you can jump over that bar. But I mean, I took it very much as a compliment that people are like, I expected shoddy cinematography or bad edits or bad production design, and really it was just pretty solid all the way around. So we're real proud of that. We've been staring at it for like 2 years, dude. So we can't. We tell each other we have Friday hype up calls, right? Where it's like, all right, dude, we're gonna make it happen. Our dreams are gonna come true.
Go.
but it's nice to finally get some real world feedback from people that aren't so far in it as we are.
Yeah, and that's a weird thing when you're saying low budget. I think we all have like oh no, it's gonna be that. It's gonna be that. And I think what the difference is between your versions of low budgets and a lot of low budget is you do have the passion and the talent for it. It's not low budget for the sake of like, oh, we'll get something out. Put Nick Cage in it. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
he'll have like 10 people.
Don't get me wrong. We would love for Nick Cage to be in any feature that we do.
Absolutely,
and that's incredible. It would be incredible. Yeah, man. We just kind of set out within the pre-production process. We were very adamant about just taking time and making sure we planned everything and that's just kind of, I think so many of these low budget films are thrown together. Not that there's not passion, the filmmakers love what they do, but I think so many times they're coming together from all these disparate pieces of like, well, the producer's from here and they're going to come in and work. And so for us to kind of be the lead people from inception to execution, there was this huge carryover where from start to finish, every moment we were involved and we were driving that process forward and striving to make the best thing that we could possibly make. I mean, there were definitely, we laugh about during production that we shot it over the course of 3 weeks. And every morning I would wake up with like 6 hours of sleep under my belt and just kind of crawl out of bed and be like, you only got to do this for 3 weeks and then all your dreams could come true if you just soldier on. And that's what we did every day. We just got up and said, today I'm going to give it 100%, like Deadpool says, maximum effort.
3 weeks. That's amazing. That's okay. To put that in perspective, one of the best movies ever, Little Shop of Horrors, was shot like in a weekend, but most movies are not that tight of a schedule. They're shot over months, if not years. Correct. And for 3 weeks, that's okay. That's just shooting. That's not obviously the writing part. Right. Or you're going to make me really cry as a writer at this point. Okay,
no.
Why are you just doing to me? I don't
I mean, if the, for the filmmakers out there, if you're wondering, like, that, how do you accomplish that? We had one location. Every look in that movie is in one location. We had a great facility where we were able to just like explore and shoot in different areas.
I was like, that was one of the things you could done, and you obviously did to keep the budget down. Was okay, we got the perfect thing. Now let's make it look like 12,000 other locations, and you did it really well. If you didn't tell me there was only one location, I'm like, okay, I was thinking like maybe 2, 3 locations. They probably went here, and then there's exteriors, but no one. That's a great find in Tennessee. You shot it in Tennessee.
Yeah, and since we're on Haunted MTL, we will say it was an old insane asylum type situation, and very, a lot of people reported paranormal vibes. And I was in between takes talking to Brick, and I looked over at the filing cabinet we were using as cover for our shootout, and it said "Death Review Files," and I was like, "Dude, oh my god!"
It puts you in the mood.
It was kind of creepy at times, for sure, in there. But yeah, to Danny's point, we could dress every room the way we wanted. We just had free run. There was no running water in there, so we had to bring in a water buffalo. So yeah, it was bring in bathrooms and really made the most out of this thing. That speaks back to making the most out of what you have. Really utilizing what's available to you. We rewrote the script in pieces and in parts once we had this location locked down, because it opened up a lot of possibilities for us. Yeah.
Okay, that's going to be my next question. Yeah, go for it.
I was going to say big shout out to Ben Johnson, our production designer, who he did a lot with a little in that space. He really kind of created all those different looks and all those different spaces. He did a great job with that.
No, for real. The sets look like they are separate lots. Like this is this. He did an amazing job. You do shoot in a location because it's obvious, because some of the action in the movie happens in a physical location in that physical world is supposed to be the location. But the rest is like, I didn't know there was one location. I would not have guessed that, especially the vibe and the feel, and to know that you guys did this about water.
Well, we went down in that boiler room, the whole boiler room scene. That was like that. We walked down there, set up lights, and started shooting. It was
perfect.
Yeah, it was like, well, look at this production value. Like this, you would spend $100,000 just creating this look on a set, and just to be able to walk in and like, oh, hey, real cobweb, real dust. Let's go.
Paint chips just right, so she could run her nails across and they'd sprinkle off just perfectly.
Yeah. Oh, that was so cool. And these are a lot of amazing memories and moments. And I think a lot of these moments happen because you are there as the writers, and you can also be there as the movie maker. And they go, oh, I can fix this. Hold on, I didn't think about this when writing. I know how to do this. And I think that's what kind of pushes your movie above and beyond, is because you're so intricate into every aspect of it, and you have the ability and the talent. It pushes anything that could have been an issue into a bonus. Like there was no issues. There were just like extra bonuses now.
I mean, I think it's really interesting you said that, because that is something that Phil and I have talked about, is how, any production, there's going to be hiccups. There's going to be things that come along that don't work out as planned. And I feel like we were super fortunate, because it felt like every time we ran up against one of those situations, we were able to turn it around and create a new, better plot point. We were able to work it into the story in a way that made sense and that was fun. And also, me personally, being, one of the writers and in directing it, I love to see the actors make the characters their own. So that was all. Ted Welch, who plays Brick, he got so many of his lines are his. They're his ad libs. He ad libbed almost every one of his good quips is his. And so and they all. People say, like, doesn't that bother you? I'm like, no, I'm going to get credit for it. I got the writer credits.
My name's on the screen for a second. I wrote that anyways. Yeah.
But no, I mean, Ted was super funny, and he had a great time channeling his inner R.J. McCready from The Thing. So he definitely brought those vibes to it. It was fun.
That's insane. I have one last question. Because without spoilers, and if you want to see Clone Cops right now, you can go to clonecopsmovie.com, and there's going to be the trailers and the behind the scenes features, if I remember correctly. And hopefully January. Is that your launch goal for a theatrical? Mm?
Yeah, so January is it is our TVOD release date, and we are running an independent theatrical
Nice.
schedule alongside. So again, if anybody at home wants Clone Cops in their neck of the woods, hit us up, and we'll reach out to the local theater and make it happen. So yeah, we're pretty excited, and it'll be available on Amazon and Apple TV and everywhere that you can rent
all
and
the
buy
streaming
film.
services. I love that. I love that concept, and that's one of the things that we live in the digital age. I think it's amazing. If we don't live next to a theater anymore, we have it in our home now. We can download into our brains, and it's an awesome release. Have you thought about doing drive-in festivals?
Yeah, that would be incredible. We've got a friend. Well, our production designer Ben Johnson directed a movie called Curse of the Weredeer that's out with Troma right now, and I'm pushing real hard for a drive-in double feature with him.
Oh
that
my
would be
God,
super fun.
That would be so amazing. Joe Bob Briggs, we'll have to get you there too. The drive-in will never die, and this movie is amazing. Clone Cops. I lucked out. I'll tell you the truth. I lucked out watching this. And I am one of the nice few who can say this. Out of 5, it's a 5 Cthulhu. I'm giving a sneak preview for the first time. I'm reviewing it live. I'm reviewing it live tonight's taping. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5.
Oh man,
5 of them.
5 out of 5. 5 out of 5.
Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you.
Appreciate that big time.
Danny and Phillip, thank you so much for your time. I love the movie. It's gonna do amazing. By the way, if anyone's listening and you're wondering what should we get for our streaming service, but Clone Cop is the only answer you need. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, of course, you can find us at Clone Cops on all social media, on Instagram, TikTok. We got a lot of additional stuff we're putting out in costume. We'll just go out in public and interact with people. That's how we know think we've got something. Yeah, because people love to see. They're like, "What is this?" They instantly are drawn to it.
Yeah,
and so we mess with them. So obviously,
I love this. It's such a perfect TikTok and like Insta ready film. Because it's zany. It's going to fit the small clip thing. It's been such an awesome thing. So check it out. Follow them on socials. Go to the screenings. And apparently you have to get the tickets like yesterday because it sells out like that. I had to sneak in to Gen Con. I'm like pressed. I'm like, get me in there now. All right, guys. Thanks for everything. And I want to see the red carpet. When you guys hook that up, let me know. I'll fly out. Fly out, and I'll be one of the people in the front row clapping and laughing at Phillip's butt. All right. Or not laughing at it. Laughing with it. All right, guys. Thanks for much, everything. Bye, y'all.
Thanks, Jim.